Mr Speaker. This is coal. Don't be afraid. Don't be
Treasurer,
scared.
the Treasurer knows the rule on crops.
It's coal. It was dug up by men and women who work and live in the electorates of those who sit opposite. From the Hunter Valley, as the member for Hunter would know. It's coal that has ensured for over 100 years
The Deputy Prime
Australia
Minister
has enjoyed an energy competitive advantage that has delivered prosperity to Australian businesses and has ensured that Australian industry has been able to remain competitive on a global market. Mr Speaker, those opposite have an ideological, pathological fear of coal. There's no word for coalophobia officially, Mr Speaker, but that's the malady that afflicts.
I move, Mr President, that the Senate take note of, dare I call it an explanation, the few words, the pithy blurb by the Leader of the Government in the Senate, and yet again we see the arrogance of this government refusing to be accountable to this parliament, refusing to respond to public allegations, refusing to put the national interest first, and as they leave the chamber, ladies and gentlemen, this shows what this government thinks of the national interest. Walk out, because you don't actually want to defend Australia's national interest. What a shameful group of cowards they are.
It is completely unacceptable, Deputy Speaker, that this government is failing older Australians and continues to fail older.
The Minister seeking the call. The Minister.
I move that the member be no longer heard.
I move that the member no longer be heard. I move that the member no longer be heard. I move the member be no longer heard. I move the member be no longer heard.
The Minister has moved the member for Shortland be no further heard.
I move that the member be no longer heard.
I move the member be no further heard.
The Manager of Opposition Business.
Speaker, there has never been a government more reluctant to have debate in
Opposition
the
Business will resume his
Never
seat.
been a government.
The Minister has the call.
I move that the motion be put.
I've always seen Parliament as a disadvantage, frankly, for sitting governments. Whatever happens, however messy it looks, tough decisions that need to be made are always sheeted home to the government of the day.
The Liberal Party has always believed in a fair go for those who have a go. That's what we've always been about. We've always believed that the best form of welfare is a job. We've always believed that you don't have to hold some down to allow others to rise up. And we always have believed that Australians are at its best when we're making them a contribution and not seeking to take one. That is why we're Liberals. That is why we're offering this at the next election. And there is a choice. There is a clear choice. There's a choice between Bill Shorten as Prime Minister or me as Prime Minister. There's a choice between a government that knows how to manage money and a Labor Party that didn't and still doesn't and never will. It's a choice between a stronger economy that can pay for the essential services and the affordable medicines and the hospitals and the schools and the medical precincts.
About the place of the church in Australia now, with so much social change.
It's difficult. I'm not a pastor. I'm a Prime Minister. And you'll hear lots of things from lots of people this week. What my request is love and have your congregations reach out and love those around. This country needs more love, less judgment.
I was going to ask you about freedom of religion without me having to, give policy or anything, but do you believe that it will be secured for churches to feel safe in terms of their beliefs?
Yeah, I do. And numerous people are fasting for us. What all that boils down to, I think, is a culture in this country. It's not the laws that makes freedom of religion. It's the culture that accepts it. So
There's a Department of Treasury in heaven that God is watching over everything you do, and you are storing up eternal treasure that will go so far beyond, I think, that we can even begin to imagine. You need to send in $3,500. You need to send in $35,000. You need to send in that $100,000 check. If you do not write that P.O. box and you do not call that toll-free number and you do not become a ministry of sustainer, you will never see sustainment in your life, and your dream will die. Your call will die.
Haradabosi, aya ba 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 ba, aya bara da bara bara bala bosia, ho ye ha 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 ha, ho ye he he ha, ho ala bola me, aya ba ba.
Gee, there's one word that comes to mind. Let me think of another couple more appropriate words. Do you want to go first?
The state of Australian politics at the moment is in a bit of a mess.
I mean, you see it in the way that the seat of Prime Minister has changed hands a billion times. None of them have actually had a goal in mind. It's mostly just become Prime Minister, and then they become Prime Minister, and it's kind of, well, what do we do now?
The Liberal Party, it's moving deck chairs on the Titanic, isn't it, really?
Dear politicians, what I want to tell you, Prime Minister and everybody at the top and everybody in between and everybody in the House, we are the people who are voting for you. What are you doing for us?
It's almost like voting for the lesser evil. I mean, you were talking before about a little bit of direction, a little bit of inspiration. I'd say a little bit of guts.